Good morning, students. Welcome to Economics online class. We are discussing the 10th chapter, Rural Economics. In the last class, we have completed the unemployment concept. Okay, rural unemployment and causes for rural unemployment, remedies for rural unemployment, and rural industries. Today, in this video, we have to continue rural indebtedness, features of rural indebtedness, causes for rural indebtedness, and measures to remove the rural indebtedness. Okay, let us see the rural indebtedness. Rural indebtedness. The rural indebtedness refers to the situation of the rural people unable to repay the loan accumulated over a period. Suppose they got any loan from the bank or local money lenders. Given a period, unable to repay the loan by the rural people is called rural indebtedness. So, existence of the rural indebtedness indicates the weak financial infrastructure of our country in reaching the needy farmers, landless people, and the agricultural laborers. So that these are the problems in the rural area. So the needy peoples cannot get the loan immediately, and they cannot unable to repay the loan amount. And landless people also affecting this kind of situation, this kind of indebtedness. Okay, then the farmers borrow loan for various purposes. Okay, within a year or given a period of time, they borrowing loan from banks or societies or landlords or local money vendors. So that various purposes they are getting, like agricultural operation, supporting the family in the lean season, the seasonal, suppose unseason time, for supporting their family they are borrowing, or purchase of equipments in the recent years, the expenses on celebrations, suppose they are celebrating local festivals or their Lord's festival, liquor consumption. This also, the liquor consumption and medicines go on increasing without any limit. Due to lower income, the villagers are unable to repay the loans or pay the pending interest on the principal amount. So they cannot repay the loan amount and also the interest rate. So this is the reason the debt accumulated by them. Here some hints given about rural indebtedness. According to the Government of India Socio-Economic and Caste Census, which is SCCC, India Socio-Economic and Caste Census 2015, around 73% of households in India are rural. Of these, 18.5% are scheduled caste households and 11% belong to scheduled tribe category. So these are the communities are mostly affected by indebtedness. The data of the National Sample Survey Organization NSSO 2002 to 2003 revealed that only about 30% of the poor borrowers get credit from the formal banks. Okay, 30% only getting the credit from the formal bank. According to the All India Debt and Investment Survey AIDS 2002 census, the share of institutional credit has declined from 66.3% in 1991 to 57.1% in 2002, with a corresponding increase in informal channels of credit. RBA 2006, they said. Okay, formal means they legally going to borrowing from the banks. Illegal means the local money lenders or the landlords. They are giving or providing loan to the farmers or the downtrodden peoples. Okay, these are the situation of rural indebtedness. Next, we have to move the features of rural indebtedness. What are the features? Nearly 3/4 of rural families in the country are in debt. See here, 3/4 of the rural families in the country are debt. The amount of debt is heavier in case of small farmers. So the amount of debt is accumulated in the head of the small farmers. The cultivators are more indebted than the non-cultivators. Okay, so the cultivators only mostly getting the loans and money, everything from the formal or informal channels than the non-cultivators. Most of the debt taken are short term and unproductive nature. Most of the debt are taken as short term. Short term means a short period, and it cannot unproductive in nature. So immediately they cannot repay. This is the meaning of this line. The proportion of debt having higher rate of interest is relatively high. So which is higher than the normal rate of interest. Okay, so most of the villages are indebted to private agencies, particularly money lenders. As I said, the money lenders. Okay, so most of the people engaged in the indebtedness by the agencies, private agencies, particularly the money lenders or the landlords. Okay, so the causes for rural indebtedness. What are the causes for this kind of indebtedness? Poverty of farmers. The vicious circle of poverty forces the farmers to borrow for consumption, cultivation and celebration. Already we know that, isn't it? Why do they getting the amount? Why do they borrowing money? For celebrating local festival or self-consumption, cultivation, purchasing machineries, so like that. Thus, poverty, debt and high rates of interest hold the farmers in the grip of money lenders, so that they are captured by the money lenders. Okay, they hold them. The money lender holded them for rate of interest. Failure of monsoon. This is also one of the reasons. The frequent failure of monsoon is a curse to the farmers, and they have to suffer due to the failure of nature. So the season also, monsoon also changing year by year. The climate changes, depends upon the climate changes. The harvesting, the cultivation also will be affected. Therefore, the farmers find it difficult to identify good years to repay their debt. They cannot easily find out the year to repay their debt. Litigation. Due to the land disputes, litigation in the court compels them to borrow heavily. So being uneducated and ignorant, they are caught in the litigation process and dry away their savings and resources, so that they do not know about any legal and litigation process. So that uneducated problem also here prevailing. So because of uneducated, the ignorant, they caught in the litigation process and dry away their savings and resources and all. Money lenders and high rate of interest. The rate of interest charged by the local money lenders is very high. The compounding of interest leads to perpetuate indebtedness of the farmers. So high rate of interest. Measures to remove the rural indebtedness. What are the measures we can remove the rural indebtedness? Several remedies measures have been introduced to reduce rural indebtedness. It includes regulation of money lenders. The money lenders should be regulated by the government, because they are giving money for a high interest rate, rate of interest. So that regulate of money lenders and development of rural banks, regional rural banks, RRBs, microfinance, formation of self-help group, SHGs, primary cooperation banks and land development banks, crop loan schemes. Lead Bank Scheme, Micro Unit Development and Refinance Agency Bank, Mudra. These are promotion of subsidiary occupation, of farm employment opportunities, skill development programs, and so on. These are the remedial measures. Okay. However, the interest rate charged plus transaction cost for poor people and self-help groups are much higher as compared to that for rich people. For instance, education loan is costlier than car loan. Okay. So like that, the self-help group also giving the least rate of interest than the government bank. Regional rural banks, this is RRBs. Regional rural banks came into existence based on the recommendation made by a working group on rural banks appointed by the Government of India in 1975. RRBs are recommended with a view to developing rural economy by providing credit and other facilities, particularly to the small and marginal farmers, agriculture laborers, artisans, and small entrepreneurs. So RRBs are set up by the joint efforts of the center and the state government and commercial banks. Okay, the central bank and commercial bank and the state government. The three banks are joined together and providing loans to the farmers. So this is regional rural banks. Okay, at present there are 64 regional rural banks in India. So the RRBs confine their lendings only to the weaker section. So they are concerned about the weakest section peoples, the poor farmers and small entrepreneurs, okay, artisan, agricultural laborer, marginal farmers. So and their lending rates are at par with the prevailing rate of cooperative society. So then the cooperative society, they are giving a low rate of interest to them. So these are the works of regional rural RR bank. Microfinance. So microfinance, also known as microcredit, it is a financial service that offers loans, savings and insurance to the entrepreneur and the small business owners who do not have access to traditional sources of capital like banks or investors. Okay, so this the microfinance is also known as microcredit. It is a financial service that offers loan and savings and insurance to entrepreneur and small business peoples. Okay, so the goal of the microfinancing is to provide individuals with the money to invest in themselves. Okay, individual with money to invest themselves or their business. So microfinance is available through microfinance institutions which range from small non-profit organization to larger banks. In India, non-government organizations NGOs play a vital role in the development of microfinance service. So that microfinance industry is in India have grown vastly in the last 2 decades. So that the last 2 decades, in 2009, the total number of microfinance institutions in India was around 150. Okay. These are the situation of microfinance. And also the self-help group. What they doing here? The women are joined together and start the self-help group, and they are sharing their money for low interest rate. This is self-help group concept. So that the self-help group are informal voluntary association of poor people from the similar socio-economic background, up to 20 women, maybe 14 women. They came together for purpose of solving their common problem through self-help and mutual help. Mutual help. The SHG promotes small savings among its members. They are sharing some amount and keeping the shares in their banks, which is savings. They save small amount, rupees 10 to 50 a month. The savings are kept with the bank after saving regularly for a minimum of 6 months. They lend small amounts to their members for interest. They can give. Based on their performance, they are linked with the bank for further assistance under SHG Bank. So, SHG Bank linked with programs, the SBLP, which is started in 1992. It is a holistic program of micro and enterprises covering all aspects of self-employment, organization of the rural poor into self-help groups and their capacity building, planning of activity clusters, infrastructure build-up, technology, credit and marketing. These are the helps given by the SBLP to the SHG group. The main objective of this program is to bring the beneficiaries above the poverty line by providing income generation asset to them through bank credit and government subsidies. So that NABARD estimates that there are 2.2 million SHGs in India. How much? 2.2 million SHGs in India. They are representing 33 million members that have been taken loan from banks under its linkage program to date. The SHG banking linkage program since its beginning has been predominant in certain states, showing spatial preferences, especially for the southern region like Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Karnataka. These SHGs have helped the banks to accumulate more fund. Actually, the banks change higher interest for SHG than car owners. Okay, so that for increasing the level of the women in the society and helping them self-mutual help, the government and NABARD bank helping them, the SBLP also helping them for the poor rural people into self-help group and their capacity building and planning of activity cluster. They want to building up their infrastructure and technology. So that these are the self-help group. They may be asked in your 5-mark question. Here the hints given in the box about NABARD. Under NABARD SHG linkage program. So SHG linkage with NABARD. So that SHGs can borrow credit from bank on showing their successful track record of regular repayment of their borrowers. Suppose they are maintaining successful record, the SHG people. It has been successful in the states like Andhra Pradesh. What are the states are successfully maintaining their SHG? Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Karnataka from the year 2005 to 6. These states received approximately 60% of SHG linkage credit. So NABARD will give credit to them. Okay, this is the census taken by the government. The next topic is major features of SHG. SHG is generally an economically homogeneous group formed through a process of self-selection based upon the affinity of its members. The members, the homogeneous, the same like financial group. Okay, economically the same level, the living standard also same. The members are selected like that. Most SHGs are women group with membership ranging from 10 to 20. SHG have well defined rules and bylaws. They have rules and bylaws, hold regular meetings and maintain records and savings and credit discipline. They should maintain these also. Self-help groups are self-managed institutions characterized by participatory and collective decision making. Okay, they have to making any decision about their program, mutual fund, everything. Okay, these are the major features of SHGs. Students, today you learnt about rural indebtedness, causes for rural indebtedness, measures to remove rural indebtedness, then microfinance, self-help group, RRBs, and major features of SHGs. Go through the topic carefully, understand the concept, and write the test and send to me.